Hello, everyone. This is Pawkettian 15 of the Fundamentals of Guitar series. And last in video 14, we learned how to read chord diagrams and we played a D major chord. And today we are going to learn how to play four other major chords: C, E, A, and G. And for this, you're going to want to look at this common open chords sheet PDF that I sent over. And we're going to talk through each chord and how to put the fingerings down and how to make them sound good. So first thing is, once again, remember a chord is three or more different notes played at the same time. In music, we call this harmony, which is one thing that makes a guitar really cool. Is you can play melody, which is single notes, one note at a time, or you can play chords and chord progressions, which would be the harmony, the stuff underneath. It's like a portable piano. So there are five different kinds of chord qualities: major, minor, dominant, augmented, and diminished. We are just talking about major chords right now. They are very happy and uplifting sounding. So we're going to start with a C major chord. Now, once again, when I'm looking at these diagrams, I want to read them from left to right. And then I'm going to talk about the fingerings. So if we're looking at the C diagram on the common open chord sheet, you can see on the left-hand side, that sixth string, there's an X on top. That means we're not going to touch the sixth string at all. Then there is a dot on the third fret. Now that dot is circled. On this page, when the dot is circled, it means it's also the root note. So there's a dot on the third fret, and I'm going to use my third finger to play this. There's no fingerings in the book, but I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to use my third finger and put it on the third fret of the fifth string. That is the note C, and that is the first note we need to play. When we go to the fourth string, it says there's a dot on the second fret. Now we're going to use our second finger or middle finger to push that down. There are those two notes. The third string, there is an open or a zero on top of that string. That means we're going to play that string open, which is the note G. The second string, there's a dot with a circle around it, which means it's another root note. There's two root notes on this. That note is going to be C. On the first fret, and I'm going to use my first finger. So you're playing the first fret of the second string with the first finger. And then finally, the first string is going to be played open. This is C major. Third fret, third finger, fifth string. Second fret, second finger, fourth string. Open third string. First fret, first finger on the second string. And then open first string. D major we already played, so I'll just go over the fingering one more time. We don't play the low two strings, string 6 or 5. The fourth string is open. We'll use our first finger to play the second fret on the third string. Our third finger or ring finger to play the third fret on the second string. And our second finger to play the second fret on the first string. And then we're going to strum the top four strings. Here we go. It's called a strum when you go down through the strings, too. I should have said that. So when you play the C chord, you play the top 5 strings or strum through the top 5. You don't hit string number 6. And when you play the D chord, you strum through the top 4 strings. Cool. E major. This chord uses all 6 strings. So we have the open. The 6 strings has a 0 on the top, so we play that open, which is the note E. That's good, right? Then we're going to use our second finger, which is the middle finger, and play the second fret of the fifth string. So we have those two thus far. Then we're going to take our third finger and play the second fret right on top of the other one of the fourth string. Okay. Now we're going to, on the third string, we have to push down the first fret. So we're going to use the first finger on the first fret of the third string. And then the second string and the first string both have zeros, there's O's on the top. Open. So those are open. Now I strum through all 6 strings. Once again, we have the second finger or middle finger on the second fret of the fifth string, the third finger right on top of it on the second fret of the fourth string, and then the first finger on the first fret of the third string. And then the sixth string, the second string, and the first string are all open. Cool. Moving on to A, there's a couple different fingerings for this, so I want to show you a few of these. With the A chord, no matter what, there's an X above that low E string. We're not going to play this string. Okay. The A string, or fifth string, is open. That makes sense. The chord is A, so we're going to use that open A string, right? Now, if you look at it, we have to push down the second fret on the fourth string, the third string, and the second string. They're all lined up in a row like that, right? They're all on the second fret. There's a couple different ways to do this. The first way is to use fingers 1, 2, and 3. So I put my first finger on the second fret of the D string or fourth string, my second finger on the second fret of the third string, and then my third finger on the second fret of the second string. And then the high E string is always open. So the A string or fifth string is open, the first string is open, and then the second fret on those strings in between. So there's the first way. I'm using 1, 2, and 3. Now you could simply do the same thing but use fingers 2, 3, and 4. So I'm putting my second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, my third finger on the second fret of the third string, and my pinky on the second fret of the second string. And then strum the top 5 strings. The third way you could play this is this. And this is the way I play it a lot. I'm going to start with my second finger on the second fret of the fourth string. Then I'm going to put, this is going to seem a little weird, but I'm going to put my first finger on the second fret of the third string. It's going to kind of be behind it a little bit. It's going to feel a little weird because you're kind of crisscrossing these fingers. And then the third finger is going to go on the second fret of the second string. Now, a lot of people with thicker fingers, this may feel better because this may feel crowded if I do 1, 2, 3. So here I'm doing second finger, then first finger, then third finger. Some rock and rollers like to use one finger and lay it across and push down like that. For now, we're going to not use that because it's hard to get that open string to ring out. So once again, 3 different fingerings. You could use 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, and 4. Oops, sorry. Or 2, 1, and 3. Your choice. Try all of them and see which one feels the best. Last but not least, we're going to use a G chord. Now, if you notice in the G diagram, there's one note that's in parentheses. That means that note is optional. You can play that note, and that's on the third fret of the second string, or you can play it open. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways. The first way is called a 3-fingered G. So what we're going to do is we're going to use all 6 strings. We're going to start, no matter what, this is done the same. Your middle finger, second finger is on the third fret of the low E string, sixth string, on the third fret. Then your first finger, no matter what, is always going to be on the second fret of the 5th string. Now, the 4th string and the 3rd string are always going to be open. The next thing you could do is you could play also the 2nd string open, and then you could take your 3rd finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the high E string or 1st string. This is what is called a 3-fingered G chord. Now, you could also finger it this way using 3, 2, and 4. So the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the low string, the 6th string, the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and the pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E. So you can finger it that way, or using fingers 3, 2, 1, and 3. Now, the 4-fingered G is like this, and you should learn how to do both of these. I'd recommend the 4-fingered G first, actually. 2nd finger, 3rd fret, low E string. 1st finger, 2nd fret, 5th string. Then the 2 middle strings are open, strings 4 and 3. Then your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then your pinky or 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. G, so you have multiple ways once again to finger this or this. The 3-fingered version, the 4-fingered version. So now we have 5 major chords. C, D, E, A, or G, or and G, actually. You want to play these over and over and over again, memorize them, and when you go through each chord, if I'm playing C, go through each string and make sure each string is ringing out. If it's muting out, you're hitting one of the strings, you're not pushing down hard enough, your nails are too long. These are the general problems. Work on it, try to get a good sound, and memorize these 5 major chords. You're going to use them in tons of different songs. I'll see you for video 16. See you later.